All right, in today's RX Factor, protecting your children from the sun's powerful summertime rays. It won't just help them now, it will actually benefit them throughout their lives. So joining us right now with some critical protection tips, Dr. Bill Lloyd, back with us. So Dr. Lloyd, good. Oh, I like you've got your sunny Hawaiian kind of print shirt on, ready for the outdoors?
It's a sunny day for all soccer lovers.
Okay, very good, especially if you're rooting for the U.S. or Great Britain because it was tied, right? Everybody's happy.
Sure.
All right, let's talk about sunscreens, kids, their exposure to the rays. How do we make sure that our kids are best protected in their early years?
Sure, Frederica. You know, the problem with children and the sun is that in the early years of life, the cumulative early UV damage is going to lead to changes that will follow them throughout their life. The ordinary problems, like, you know, the aging and the brown spots and the wrinkling, but pediatricians and dermatologists now find more cases of skin cancer in young children. So here's the protection. First, limit the sun exposure. That means get them inside between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Have them come in and watch CNN. And when they're out, make sure they're wearing hats and don't forget the sunglasses as well. Think about using a quality sunblock. Put it on 15 to 20 minutes before you go outside and continuously reapply it, especially if they're going to be swimming. And finally, if anybody gets sunburned, they go inside immediately. Not so much as a punishment, but a reminder of the damage that sunburn will cause. Multiple intense sunburns in children will cause serious problems later in life.
Wow. Okay, so let's talk about those, quality sunscreens because there's so many to choose from. Sometimes you see 15 SPF, you see 25, there's even 100 out there. Does that number matter?
The SPF number is a laboratory number. Any number of 15 or higher is fine. For protection from the sun, as long as you've got an SPF of 15 or higher, you're covered. Now, when you're spending money, like you said, there's places you can buy a gallon for $3. There's others that have a small bottle and it's $12.
Yeah.
Why the difference? The ingredients. When you buy a quality sunblock, it's made with the right ingredients that won't be irritating to the skin. Look at the label. Make sure it doesn't have ingredients like avobenzone or Parsol. They're going to make your skin very, very irritated.
Oh.
Go with quality. You get what you pay for. Don't be cheap, and don't forget to reapply it frequently. I've seen people at the beach, and they put a little dab here and a little dab there, and they think they're protected. Oh, no. You got to slather it on.
Yeah, you sweat, you get in the water, stuff washes off over time, so you got to keep reapplying it. Okay, so now what about, these sun shirts you see a lot of kids that are on the market, or you see a lot of kids wearing, or just plain old T-shirts? How helpful are those?
Protective clothing is a great idea, but here's an important tip. It only works so long as the protective clothing stays dry. Here's an example. I've got my hand covered with this fabric. You can barely see it. But now, here we go, into the pool. We got the little CNN mini pool here.
Oh, I love
and
those
look,
props
you can see my hand right here.
Right.
All right, now this is visible light. Guess what? It's even more intense when we're talking about UV light. So if your kids are going to wear clothes, keep them dry. If they get wet, they still have to have the sunblock.
Wow. Okay, so do you need to put the sunblock on underneath these clothes? Even like the sun shirts that we see, will advertise that there's some, sunscreen ability in there or protects you from the UV rays?
Sure. It protects you as long as it's dry. Make sure you apply 15 minutes before you go outdoors. And then if you wear the outer garment and it stays dry, you're very well protected. But if they're in and out of the water, make sure they take a break every half hour or so, re-slather them up, and you can put the garment back on if you're not.
Wow.
If you don't use the sunblock, a wet garment, a wet T-shirt is like wearing nothing at all.
Okay, and how early do we need to be starting this with kids? Because, infants, you worry about putting certain lotions on them, let alone a sunscreen, but how important is it to get into this practice and at what age, the earliest?
Sure. First 6 months, of course, no little baby ought to be out in the sun. They need to be protected and covered with an umbrella or even indoors. But from 6 months on, they need to be wearing sunblock, and sunblocks are safe for children ages 6 months and older. The damage that comes that's going to haunt them is the damage in the first 8 years of life. And Frederica, guess what? By age 20, you've accumulated more UV damage than you will accumulate over the rest of your life.
Wow, that's really incredible. And it makes me really worry now about my little 5-year-old boy. Did I do enough in those first couple of years of sun exposure? Time for me to get cranking, right? I do the sunscreen.
It's a great summer to watch soccer. A great summer to watch soccer.
Yes. Okay, that's right. Stay inside right now. Okay. All right, but those were the important hours, though. You were talking about 11 to 3, right? Or 10
11 to 3, 10 to 2.
10 to
the
2,
middle
okay.
of the day is peak danger
most
for the
intense
skin.
rays. All right. Thanks
Yeah,
so much,
bet.
Dr. Bill Lloyd. Always
We'll
good to
talk
see
again
you.
soon.
And I'm super digging your shirt today. I love it, love it, love it.